Hello and welcome to my review of the Space Marine Heroes collection. In this case it will be Brother Sergeant Servastus. Here he is right here. You can easily spot him because he has a grav pistol and a chainsword. Really cool looking model. This is what he would look like painted if you chose to paint him in the Ultramarines colours. Sergeant with the red helmet and the grav pistol and the chainsword. This model, like all the Space Marine Hero models, will cost you £5. It's a blind buy box, so you don't know what you're going to get. This is the box. You don't know which model out of the 9 over here in the UK. There are 13 of them in Japan. I've managed to get Brother Sergeant Servastus. He's an old looking Space Marine, got a huge beard and, you know, quite a bit of a crinkly one. I've got all the heads here, and I think it would be, I want to say this guy here. Looks a little bit Space Wolfy actually. So there he is, Brother Servastus with the big beard, or chin strap almost. So that's his head. You can choose to either use the heads, the helmetless heads, or the helmets, the helmeted ones. It's completely up to you. They're all in this type of power armor, no beaky Space Marines, well, unfortunately. So there you go. That is Brother Sergeant Servastus. Obviously very easy to put together, not push to fit, but easy to build. There are some mold lines. There are mold lines on all of them. As with normal Space Marines, you're just going to have to work around them. I do like his base. He's got a bit more of a fancy base. This big kind of church symbol statuette kind of thing from like the Fortress of Redemption. That's quite a big part of his base. I really like the pose. He's stepping on this piece of masonry or whatever, and leading the charge with his chainsword pointed at an angle. I really like his shoulder pauldrons. He's got this little red light or button or whatever it is on there, and the same on the other side. It may well be like just like a sergeant pip to denote his status, but it's the same for his helmet. I like the kind of material, rope kind of thing coming from his chest plate, and I like the studded gorget and these flowing pieces of leather and armor and the purity seals as well. He's even got a nameplate there, and they've just put Ultra on there on his painted picture. He does have a unique power pack. I've never seen one of these before. It's got kind of like a little name ribbon thing going on at the back. I've never seen one like that, and it's also got like a little Imperial coin as well, so that he can, you know, use the shopping trolleys at the Emperor's supermarket. Anyway, I'll just show you some size comparisons. He is one of the, I say, newer kind of Space Marine models, so comparing him to an older one makes him look a bit bigger. Even if we were to put the older one a bit higher, this new one is definitely taller, there's no doubt about that. Comparing him to a Primaris Space Marine, in particular a Lieutenant, you can see the Lieutenant is just a bit bigger, but definitely size comparison wise, it's harder to tell between these and say the older one. So I'm a big fan of these Space Marine Heroes, and I'm a fan of their sizes, even if the size is just slightly to do with their scenic bases. They do have more presence, and they're more, you know, Space Marine than kind of these little dudes. Anyway, size comparison over, just a quick one there. What I'll do now is just go through the rules for Brother Sergeant Servastus, because you don't get them in his little pack. All you get are these kind of symbol things, which I assume that's like a close combat thing, but you can get the rules from the Space Marine Heroes website, I believe. Now, although he is a sergeant, it says he's Brother Sergeant Servastus, there's not really any reason why you couldn't just proxy him as a normal Space Marine captain. Just bump up all of his items. He can still take different pistols and things from the war gear list, but for the purpose of this review, I'll just be reviewing him as a tactical squad Space Marine sergeant. So his power points cost is a 5, and his points cost for the model would just be 13 points. You're going to have to pay for his grav pistol separately, which would be 8 points, so that boosts him up to 21 points just for this one model, because his chainsword is free. Now, stat line wise, Of course, he's a troop choice. Stat line wise, his movement's 6 inches, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness both 4, wounds 1. He does have 2 attacks though, and he does have a better leadership at 8 and a standard save of 3+. So he's got 1 extra attack than a normal Space Marine, and he's got a better leadership. You'd expect him to. The unit for tactical squad contains 1 Space Marine Sergeant, which in this case would be him, and 4 Space Marines. So to make him legal, you're going to need to find 4 buddies of his to join him. The squad can include up to 5 additional Space Marines. Each model is armed with a bolt gun, bolt pistol, frag grenades and crack grenades. Typically he'd have a bolt pistol and chainsword, but of course you can replace bolt pistol and bolt gun with items from the Sergeant equipment list. So you can replace his bolt pistol with, of course, you know, a grav pistol. If the unit contains less than 10 models, 1 Space Marine may replace a bolt gun with an item from the special weapons or heavy weapons list, and if the unit contains 10 models, 1 Space Marine may replace a bolt gun with an item from the special weapons list, and 1 other Space Marine may replace his bolt gun with an item from the heavy weapons list. Abilities: and they shall know no fear, and combat squads, which means before any models are deployed at the start of the game, tactical squad containing 10 models may be split into 2 units, each containing 5. Keywords is Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, Infantry and Tactical Squad. So there you go. A sergeant is always welcome. Typically when you buy a box of 10 Space Marines, you would normally make either 1 or 2 of them to become sergeants. Nothing stopping you from creating 2 squads of 5 and having a sergeant in each. But of course that does start making small squads pricey, and small squads are definitely more vulnerable, but they are more flexible. Pros and cons of having larger and smaller squads of Space Marines. Anyway, what do you guys think of the model? Please put it in the comments below. This is all I wanted to say about Brother Sergeant Servastus. I think he's a really cool looking model and a great addition to the Space Marine chapter. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.